my gosh, guys, is that Dream? Wait a second, but I'm Dream. These are the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns of all time. This first speedrun begins, and right off the bat, there's already something fake about the speedrun. No, it isn't the speedrunner's world generation. As we can clearly see, he isn't using a set seed, and it's not the spawn itself, because the runner is clearly facing completely straight. But when the runner opens his F3 menu, let's take a very close look at his coordinates. In a real Minecraft speedrun, your spawn will always be within 256 blocks of the 0, origin. However, in this speedrun, you can clearly see the runner's X coordinate is 267 blocks. And this leads me to believe the runner has been moving around before he started recording. And this is further supported a few seconds later, where we can spot a singular block of stone on the ground that he clearly forgot to clean up. Both of these factors point to this speedrunner being on the world before he started recording, which will become a much more important factor later in the run. So, the speedrun begins and the runner collects some wood, crafts a few tools, and makes his way to a nearby village. But look! At this exact frame, we can spot another item that was left on the ground, this time a wooden sword, which is yet another hint to this player being on the world before recording. Well, as the runner loots a few chests and collects some hay, he reveals exactly how he's cheated. Because look, despite the runner just entering the village, the iron golem has already been damaged. And not only that, because in the corner of the screen at this frame, you can spot a commands block on the floor. And it's not a surprise that this commands block features one singular command, and that is to damage any iron golem upon a player joining the world. And this means the reason the runner was on the world before he started recording was to set up this commands block with this specific command, so as soon as the runner joined the world, the iron golem would immediately take damage. And that would give him a massive time advantage during the speedrun. This speedrunner is off to a horrendous start. So, with this iron golem already being damaged, the runner kills it in record time and quickly collects the iron ingots he needs, before leaving the village and heading towards a ruins portal. But pause the footage here, because I want you to see if you could spot exactly what's fake about this ruins portal. Did you notice it? Well, first, it's important to explain that in Minecraft, there's a total of 13 different ruins portal types, each portal being slightly different in shape and size, and containing different amounts of obsidian. However, one thing that is consistent among all 13 of the ruins portal variations is the fact that they each contain some sort of stone brick block. And as you can see by the ruins portal this speedrunner finds, there is not only 0 stone brick blocks, but instead smooth stone blocks. And smooth stone happens to be a block that doesn't exist in any ruins portal. And these two factors mean this ruined portal is not one of the 13 possible variations, and just proves the runner has created this portal from scratch before he started recording. And this makes even more sense because just a few moments ago, I pointed out how the runner clearly forgot to pick up a piece of smooth stone on the ground, which was obviously the same stone block he used to incorrectly build this ruins portal. Well, the runner makes his way towards the completely fake ruins portal, where to nobody's surprise, he finds the exact amount of obsidian he needs to complete the shape of the portal. But the runner messed up big time, because despite cheating, he actually forgot to place a piece of flint and steel in the chest, meaning the runner has no way to light this ruins portal. Well, the runner doesn't seem to be worried, because he heads towards this patch of gravel and starts to mine the blocks, which makes me think he's simply going to collect the flint on his own so he can craft flint and steel and successfully light the portal. But what? The runner mines this block of gravel, which drops a nether portal item? Wait, what in the world? Since when was a nether portal a type of item you can collect in Minecraft? Well, the runner grabs this portable nether portal and quickly heads back to the ruins portal. But instead of lighting it, the runner instead turns to the right and what? Using this item, the runner somehow generates an entire nether portal on the spot. And it not only appeared out of thin air, but it's also fully lit and ready to be used. Does that mean this nether portal item has the ability to summon a nether portal on command? This is insane. Well, the runner heads inside the nether portal, but when he spawns into the nether, what? Instead of spawning into the nether, the runner finds himself in some sort of diamond dimension? Okay, was this dimension added in Minecraft's newest update? Well, the runner walks around the dimension, which is literally made almost completely out of diamond blocks and diamond ore. And the runner is clearly following a very specific direction. And after only about 1 minute of searching through this wild dimension, what? The runner spots some sort of diamond portal. Was a diamond portal also added in the newest update? Well, the runner goes to enter the diamond portal where, oh my gosh, the runner has now successfully found himself in the nether. But take a look at the ground. Somehow, the nether has generated with a diamond line on the floor. And of course, being that the runner was just in the diamond dimension, he's clearly intrigued and wants to follow this line. And just a few moments later, oh my gosh, this diamond path has led the speedrunner straight to a nether fortress. And that means this diamond dimension that the runner was just in for a few moments has the power to generate a literal diamond pathway that somehow directs the runner to the closest and most optimal speedrun structure. Well, the runner heads inside the nether fortress, and despite the crazy way that he got there, he does actually get the achievement in the bottom left corner of the screen and finds a blaze spawner that looks to be completely normal. But I hope you didn't forget about the diamond dimension and diamond path that the runner used to get here. Because when he kills his very first blaze, oh my gosh, this blaze has dropped an entire stack of diamonds for the speedrunner. And first off, it's more than obvious a blaze doesn't naturally drop diamonds. But secondly, how in the world could this possibly help the speedrunner? Sure, I guess he could use the diamonds to craft diamond armor and tools, but that wouldn't really help his speedrun time be faster in any way. Well, after the runner kills a few more blazes, he ends up collecting a total of 4 diamond stacks. And while they aren't doing anything now, keep these diamond stacks in mind as they will be crucial for when the runner is in the bastion. Anyway, the speedrun continues and the runner fights a few more blazes, and unlike the amount of diamonds he gets, the amount of blaze rods he gets is completely normal, and the runner quickly leaves the fortress and begins to search for a bastion. But while the runner is casually searching throughout the nether, what in the world? He comes across an enormous group of piglins that seem to be located in one single area. Okay, hold on. Am I the only one who thinks this is incredibly weird? Well, you may be thinking these piglins, while very suspicious, are completely normal, as there is no Minecraft rule against this many piglins spawning in a nether waste biome. But as the runner gets closer, wait, what? The runner spots a secret diamond hole underneath this giant group of piglins. And when he opens the trap door and jumps down, oh my gosh, he finds one of the craziest looking portals that I've quite possibly ever seen. And first off, it's more than obvious this secret portal room does not spawn naturally in vanilla Minecraft. But secondly, these piglins are clearly fake. And the reason they were all spawned here and bunched up in a circle was actually to cover up this secret portal room. and the runner is clearly the one who spawned in these piglins. Anyway, the runner goes to enter this custom and crazy looking portal, and what? The runner finds himself spawning straight into the Bastion. Since when was a Bastion portal added to vanilla Minecraft? Well, the runner enters the Bastion, and to his credit, he does that completely normal by collecting some gold blocks and turning them into ingots. But as the runner is searching throughout the Bastion, pause the footage, because at this very frame, you can actually spot a custom Minecraft chest that is named the Diamond Deposit Chest and is clearly made of diamonds. And now, do you remember when the runner collected 4 stacks of diamonds from these blazes? Well, the runner goes to open the chest, where he finds a note that reads this: deposit diamond stacks for piglin loot. Does that mean the sole purpose of these blazes dropping diamonds was for the runner to place them in this chest? Why would he do that? Well, I guess the runner is interested in giving away 4 stacks of diamonds, so he follows the directions and deposits every single diamond into this chest. But when the runner turns back around, wait, what in the world? The entire Bastion has turned to pure diamond. But not only that, because every single piglin has somehow acquired diamond armor too, which means depositing diamonds into this chest has literally turned the entire Bastion overpowered. Well, of course, once everything has turned into pure diamonds, the runner starts to trade with these piglins, and they waste no time not only giving the runner all of the pearls and obsidian he needs, but also gives him an entire set of enchanted diamond gear. This is insane. Well, the runner quickly builds a nether portal and heads back to the overworld. And thankfully, there doesn't seem to be any diamonds in sight as the runner heads to shore to craft some eyes of ender and then starts to look for the stronghold. But I spoke too soon, because watch. The runner throws this eye of ender into the air, which you may think is completely normal, as he's likely using triangulation to locate the position of the strongholds. However, when the runner looks back down, oh my gosh. Throwing this eye of ender has actually created another diamond path on the floor, which the runner follows all the way to this specific location, and he digs down straight into the stronghold. So much for this part of the speedrun being normal. Well, the runner drops down into the stronghold, where if I have to give some credit, he does get the achievement for entering into it. And thankfully, as the runner makes his way around the stronghold, there doesn't seem to be a single diamond in sight. But things get weird once again when the runner finds the end portal room. And no, the portal itself is actually completely normal and contains 2 eyes of ender, which is very standard. But what's weird is that the runner goes to this lava pool and throws every single eye of ender in the lava. Wait, what? Did the runner forget that he hasn't lit the portal yet? How could he continue without a single eye of ender? Well, while it may have seemed like it, this actually wasn't a mistake, but instead was completely planned by the speedrunner, because he heads over to the other lava pool, and after getting rid of all of the lava, oh my gosh, the speedrunner has found a diamond lever, and when the runner flicks the lever, a message appears in chat claiming the end portal has been lit with diamond, and when the runner turns back around and goes to check the portal, no way! It's not only been lit, but like the message said, has been lit with diamond. This is out of control. And when the runner jumps in and spawns into the end, yeah, every single thing in this dimension is also built out of diamond. But wait, look at the end gateway portal a bit more closely, because there's actually another diamond chest that has spawned on top of it. And when the runner goes to loot this chest, wait, what? He doesn't find a single overpowered item inside, but instead a singular note. And all it reads is this: type out the word diamond. Okay, what? I know diamonds were a huge theme throughout the speedrun, but how could typing out the word possibly help? Is this one giant troll on the speedrunner to waste his time? Well, the runner must trust whoever wrote the note, because he closes the chest and opens his chat, and he starts to type in the very word diamond. But when he presses enter, what? The Ender Dragon's health bar disappears in an instant, and the dragon must be dead because he is completely gone. This next speedrun begins, and right away, there's already something fake about the speedrun. And no, it's not his world generation screen, as it clearly hits 100% before loading in. And it's not the position of the world spawn either, as the runner's crosshair is facing perfectly straight. But let's take a look into the bottom left corner, where as you can see, the runner has set his main hand to his left hand. And no, this in itself isn't fake, as you can set either hand to be your main one when doing a Minecraft speedrun. However, before the speedrun started, this player was looking through some of his settings, where he accidentally revealed the setting for his main hand was his right hand. And this confirms the footage of the runner checking his settings and generating his worlds is completely different than the footage of his speedrun, leading us to believe the runner has made a cut in his recording when spawning into the world. And that means it's entirely possible this seed is actually a set seed, and the runner must have realized his mistake because he immediately switches his hand back to his right before beginning. Keep all of this in mind, as it's going to play a massive role later in the run. So the speedrun begins, and the runner collects some wood, crafts a few tools, and heads towards a nearby shipwreck. What? By some miracle, this shipwreck the runner locates has spawned completely upside down. Is that even possible? And on top of that, the speedrunner finds a very suspicious chest that has somehow spawned outside of the shipwreck itself, which if you didn't know, is completely impossible, as all Minecraft shipwreck chests obviously spawn in the shipwreck. Well, the runner's first task is clearly opening this suspicious chest, and to my surprise, all of the loot inside is actually completely normal. But it's not the loot that's suspicious, but rather the sound this chest makes, because when the runner opens it, you can clearly hear some sort of piston being activated. Was this chest some sort of secret Minecraft lever? Well, the runner then makes his way inside of the shipwreck where, what? The runner spots a suspicious hole underwater that was clearly not there before. And not only that, but this hole actually contains a secret ladder and a tunnel. And first off, I think it's obvious opening this chest and activating a piston is what revealed this secret ladder. But secondly, when the runner heads down this ladder, oh my gosh, the runner finds a ruined portal room waiting for him. But wait a second, you're meaning to tell me this speedrunner just so happened to find an upside down shipwreck that just so happened to spawn on top of a ruined portal? There is absolutely no way this happened naturally. Well, if we rewind the footage to earlier in the speedrun, let's watch closely to what happens as the runner is gathering some wood. Oh my gosh. At this frame, the runner accidentally opens up his notepad, which reveals a singular Minecraft command inside. And as you could probably guess, this command has something to do with generating an upside down shipwreck. And although we didn't see the runner type in this command on camera, it's obvious he somehow inserted this command into the game off camera, which managed to spawn this shipwreck and ruined portal directly underneath. He just got caught cheating in 4K. Well, the runner heads down to the ruined portal and, are you kidding me? Despite the speedrunner literally cheating, he doesn't find a single piece of flint in the chest, meaning he can't craft flint and steel and therefore can't light the portal. So he's forced to head back up to the surface and search around the area to find flint. But as the speedrunner is doing this, notice this strange command that appears in the chat. Am I the only one who thinks this is suspicious? The command "we need to go deeper" refers to entering a nether portal, which the speedrunner clearly hasn't done because the portal wasn't even lit yet. But secondly, the other part of this command reads, join the game, which is also weird. A Minecraft achievement is not something that joins a game, but rather is achieved by a player. So all of this leads me to ask, is this Minecraft command even real? Well, let's take a closer look at what happens at the same moment this command appears. Because at the exact frame that it does, oh my gosh. In the right corner of the screen, you can clearly see another player has spawned in. And this makes me think this other player somehow changed his name to this command, meaning this message was actually there to show that this other player had joined the game. But why? Well, even though the runner doesn't locate a piece of flint anywhere on the surface, when he heads back down to the ruined portal chest, one has somehow appeared inside, despite this very same chest being completely empty a few moments ago. Meaning the one reason that this other player joined the world was to secretly add a piece of flint into this chest. And he tried to hide the fact that he joined the world by disguising himself with a custom Minecraft name. But these players are terrible at hiding their cheating. Well, the runner grabs the flint from the chest, makes flint and steel, and quickly heads into the nether. But wait a second. There's something about this speedrunner spawn that raises a ton of suspicion. And no, the spawn itself looks to be normal. As you can clearly see, the runner hasn't gained a single weird item in his inventory. But it's actually this nether fortress that garnered my attention. Because right away, notice how there are 2 torches located at the entrance of the fortress. And while torches may seem completely innocent and normal, it's actually impossible for any nether fortress to spawn with torches. So is this other player who just recently joined the world the one who did this? Well, when the runner gets a bit closer and starts to search around the fortress, more torches can be identified. And the runner spots a total of 9 different torches before locating this blaze spawner. But in what universe does finding 9 torches in a fortress possibly help the speedrun? Well, when the runner makes his way to the blaze spawner room, what? Look at the blaze spawner itself. There's some sort of weird keypad on top of it. Interesting. Well, the runner is clearly curious and goes to click the keypad, where he's prompted to enter some sort of code. Now, do you remember how I pointed out the runner not only finding 2 torches on the fortress entrance, but also 7 other torches throughout the fortress for a total of 9 that he identified in the structure? Well, the runner puts 2 and 2 together, where he types in 9 into this keypad. And what do you know? A plethora of blazes immediately spawns in and fills up the blaze spawner room, meaning this keypad locked the blaze spawner and wouldn't generate any blazes until the correct code of 9 was typed in. And the speedrunner's friends who joined the world a few moments ago clearly knew this, so he placed exactly 9 torches in this fortress, so the runner had a hint as to what the code might be. But I exposed their entire operation so easily. Well, once the blazes start to appear, the runner can easily begin killing them and collect blaze rods. But for some reason, once the runner collects 7 blaze rods, he doesn't want to stop and continues to kill blazes until he's collected 13 rods, which is very weird, as a normal Minecraft speedrunner would leave the fortress after collecting just 7, as collecting 13 is a huge waste of time. Well, the runner didn't collect this many blaze rods to have extra, but actually to distract us. Because this speedrunner knew viewers of the video would get bored and simply fast forward through this portion of the speedrun, which would allow him to cheat without anyone noticing. But I noticed something strange when the runner kills his 12th blaze. Oh my gosh! This blaze drops some sort of custom Minecraft compass, and blazes not only can't drop normal compasses, but is this type of compass even something in vanilla Minecraft? So, not only is this custom compass incredibly intriguing and suspicious, it now makes sense as to why the runner killed so many extra blazes, as it simply served as one big distraction so he could collect this item. Well, the runner clearly has more than enough blaze rods, so he exits the fortress and makes his way to a nearby bastion. And yes, the runner does the usual of collecting some gold blocks, crafting ingots, and even looting a few bastion chests. But this isn't important at all, because in the 9th slot of the runner's inventory, we're reminded of the incredibly strange looking compass the runner just collected. And the speedrunner quickly pulls it out and starts to follow this compass. And less than 30 seconds later, this compass leads the speedrunner straight towards the secret piglin trading room? Wait, what? And when the runner heads down and inside the structure, he has literally found himself face to face with one single piglin inside some sort of bunker that I've literally never seen before. And not only that, but when the runner goes to hover over this compass, no way. This compass is called the King Piglin Royal Compass, which means the entire reason the runner needed to distract us by killing way more blazes than normal was to collect this custom compass, which the runner then needed to locate the quote-unquote King Piglin. But why in the world is this piglin so important? Well, the runner throws a singular gold ingot towards this King Piglin, and in return, oh my gosh! The runner has received more ender pearls and obsidian than any player in Minecraft history. There's no way. This King Piglin has given the runner 3 stacks of ender pearls and 2 full stacks of obsidian. And it's now obvious why this King Piglin compass was so incredibly important, as it just gave the speedrunner every single item he needs. Well, with more items than any speedrunner has gotten from any piglin trade, the runner quickly builds another portal and heads to the overworld. And yes, his spawn does look completely normal on the surface, as he crafts a few eyes of ender and appears to be using the process of triangulation to locate the strongholds. But as the runner is throwing his eyes and following them, the speedrunner suddenly finds what? He has stumbled across quite possibly the world's goofiest looking strongholds. Not only has it spawned on top of the ground, when a real stronghold always spawns underground, but it also has a sign out front which has labeled this structure as the Strongay Holder. This stronghold is so goofy it's not even spelled right. Well, the runner opens the birch door to the stronghold, when a real stronghold has iron doors and oak doors, where each hallway is only 1 block wide. And after just 13 seconds, the runner finds the end portal room. Oh my gosh. There isn't even real lava, and instead, small Minecraft lava heads. Not to mention the end portal itself. Oh my gosh. The runner finds an end portal that is made up of only 4 end portal frames. This stronghold looks like something straight off of Temu. Well, while this stronghold is incredibly goofy and hilarious, it's actually a huge disadvantage, as it's simply impossible to light any end portal of this size. What in the world? The runner has just managed to light a 4-block end portal. I'm done questioning anything that happens in this speedrun. So, the runner spawns into the end, where he does get the achievement in the bottom left corner. But as the runner is casually running on the surface, what? The Ender Dragon's health quite literally disappears in an instant. And the runner can see that the dragon has suddenly died, and the speedrunner has completed the run. This next speedrun begins, and right away, there's something completely fake about the speedrun. Surprisingly, it didn't have anything to do with the spawn, as the world generation looked completely normal. And it also doesn't have anything to do with his game mode, as we can clearly see he's in survival with 0 XP. But let's take a good look in the top left corner of the screen, where you can spot a keystroke overlay, which for those of you who don't know, is a mod that shows exactly what buttons you are pressing on your keyboard as you're playing. So how in the world is it possible that as the speedrunner's character is moving, he isn't pressing a single button on his keyboard? And on on top of that, as the runner mines wood from this tree, you can also see he isn't pressing a single button on his mouse. And both of these things mean this footage is actually pre-recorded, and this keystroke overlay is actually completely fake. And it's obvious the reason the runner did this was because he saw real speedrunners using a similar keyboard overlay, meaning he thought if he added one into his own speedrun, we would think he was a real speedrunner. But we're gonna see very soon exactly why this runner is far from real. Either way, the run starts off fairly normally as the runner collects a bit of food from a few animals and then makes his way to a nearby village. But that's when the runner finds a giant crater in the center of the village? What? And not only is the crater massive, but it's filled with lava and features a village house in the middle of it. Did I miss an update? Well, this village house is clearly special, so the runner obviously wants to head towards it. The problem is, he barely has any blocks in his inventory and no fire resistance to pass the lava safely. So the runner puts this village house on hold for now, where he heads to a different village house and prepares to loot a village chest. Oh, and the runner also removes the keystroke overlay, so I guess he's done pretending that he's a pro. Now, this chest is actually 100% normal, as when the speedrunner opens it, it's pretty obvious there's not a single suspicious item inside. However, it's actually what's under this chest that raises suspicion, because as you can see, there's a clear gap under the chest and there's some sort of secret ladder there. And the runner obviously spots this too. So he breaks the chest and heads down into the strange tunnel. And while you're probably expecting the runner to find some sort of secret and overpowered loot room, what the runner instead finds is one singular button? Okay, how in the world could a button help the speedrun? Well, the runner is obviously frustrated that he just got tricked, so I guess he hits the button for fun and heads back out of the village before... What? A giant parkour course has literally spawned in the air, and it leads directly to the village house that's surrounded by lava. And not only am I shocked on how this is possible, but it's quite clear this strange button the runner located a few seconds ago is clearly what summoned this parkour course. Well, the runner starts to do the parkour, and to his credit, he does actually complete it fairly quickly. And so, of course, the runner heads inside this village house. Oh my gosh! Despite this village house clearly being a normal size, when the runner opens the door, he has somehow managed to find himself inside the world's biggest village house. Am I missing something? There's no way this tiny village house is this giant on the inside. And of course, the runner frantically starts searching through the rooms in this house and easily identifies the quote-unquote loot room, which contains some of the most helpful and overpowered items for Minecraft speedrunning. And I'm starting to think this village house surrounded by lava was actually one big scheme that the speedrunner set up himself. Well, the runner collects a handful of overpowered loot from this village's loot room, where he heads back outside and starts to search for a ruins portal. And while he does locate one fairly quickly, you gotta be kidding me, this ruins portal has somehow spawned with red nether bricks instead of netherrack. And this clearly points to the runner being the one who built this portal on his own, where he accidentally chose red nether bricks instead of netherrack blocks when building. This guy's terrible at hiding his cheating. Well, with all the extra obsidian he collected from the giant village house, the runner only needs one piece of obsidian from this chest before easily completing the nether portal. But as the runner is about to spawn in the nether, pause the footage at this frame, because there's one detail which exposes his cheating in a giant way. Because if you zoom in to the left corner of the screen, you can easily spot a blaze spawner egg lying on the floor. And obviously, blaze spawner eggs don't just randomly spawn in the overworld, which clearly means this belonged to the speedrunner and he forgot to clean it up before recording. But why did he do this? Well, the runner spawns into the nether, and while I can give him credit for getting the achievement, as the runner starts to search for a fortress, he literally starts to spot blazes out in the open in a soul sand valley biome. And if you didn't know, it's literally impossible impossible for a blaze to spawn anywhere besides a fortress, so it's pretty obvious the reason the runner had the blaze spawner egg was to spawn in extra blazes in the nether. But how could having a singular blaze in a soul sand valley possibly help him cheat? Well, first off, notice how the runner doesn't kill the blaze, which is very strange. But secondly, notice how the runner starts to travel in the nether and quite literally spots 5 other blazes in various biomes. And not only is the runner clearly following all of these blazes, but they end up directing the runner straight to a golden fortress? Oh my gosh! And first off, the reason the runner spawned these blazes was clearly to lead him to this location. But secondly, are we just gonna skip over that this speedrunner found a gold fortress? What in the world is happening? Well, the runner makes his way into the gold fortress, where he somehow still gets the achievement for entering inside. And his first order of business is clearly locating a blaze spawner. But when the runner locates it, what? Instead of finding a monster spawner, the speedrunner instead finds a chest with a label, Blaze Barrel. And somehow, despite this being here instead of a spawner, blazes are actually managing to spawn. How are they spawning without a monster spawner? Anyway, the runner goes to kill the first blaze, and while things may seem normal on the surface, as it does only drop one singular blaze rod, when the runner goes to open the chest that was clearly empty just a few seconds ago, he suddenly finds a single gold ingot inside. And does that mean that every time this speedrunner kills a blaze, a gold ingot spawns in this blaze barrel? Well, the runner continues to attack and kill blazes, where he racks up a total of 7 gold ingots in the blaze barrel. But when the runner goes to take a closer look, oh my gosh, these are not just ordinary gold ingots, but are literally called gold glimmering gems. And to start, is this a special type of gold ingot that was added in Minecraft's latest update? But secondly, make sure you remember these special pieces of gold, as they are going to be a massive part of the speedrun very soon. Well, after collecting a total of 7 blaze rods and 7 gold glimmering gems, it's pretty obvious the runner needs to locate a bastion. But as the runner leaves the fortress, what in the world? The speedrunner finds some sort of Minecraft railroad that has somehow spawned in the nether. And I'm not only incredibly confused on how this spawned here, but what is its purpose? You can clearly see a dead end at the end of the track. Well, I guess the runner doesn't care, as he's clearly interested and quickly hops into the minecart. And, as we clearly saw, this railroad does not lead anywhere besides this wall. But when the runner clicks the button on the wall to head back in the other direction, what? This railroad is now somehow heading straight to a bastion. Okay, let me replay that. There are clearly no cuts in the recording, and this speedrunner has indeed found himself straight in front of a bastion. And if anyone can explain how in the world this Minecraft railroad summoned a bastion, please let me know. Well, I guess the speedrunner manages to find a bastion in world record time, and he quickly heads inside of the structure. Now, do you remember the gold glimmering gems the runner somehow collected in the gold fortress? Well, despite the runner having 7 of them, he still decides to collect gold blocks to craft normal gold ingots. Which is weird. Why doesn't the runner simply start throwing these gems at the piglins? Well, that's because after collecting normal ingots, he grabs these gems and brings them to a crafting table, where he somehow manages to craft what? The Minecraft Mega Item Expander? Is this some sort of custom Minecraft weapon? I've never seen this before. Well, after crafting this insane Minecraft item, the runner then makes his way to a group of piglins. And yes, when the runner throws his gold at these mobs, everything looks to be normal. But that's until the runner whips out his freshly crafted Minecraft Mega Item Expander. Because what? The runner swings this item, and it literally turns his gold ingots into giant gold ingots. Look, These things are literally the size of the speedrunner. And of course, with this gold being so incredibly massive, you know the piglins aren't going to make normal trades. Because just a few of these giant gold ingots are worth 32 ender pearls and 20 pieces of obsidian, which means the runner needed less than 12 seconds of trading to be completely finished in the bastion. Can anyone explain where in the world the runner cut this custom item? Well, the runner grabs all of his overpowered loot, where he quickly builds a portal and heads back to the overworld. What? The speedrunner somehow spawns directly in the stronghold? And not only that, because when the runner goes through this door, oh my gosh, the stronghold has somehow managed to turn completely gold, just like the fortress. But wait, this speedrunner isn't done yet, because when he locates the end portal room, oh my gosh, the end portal is quite literally made out of gold blocks with item frames on top for eyes of ender to be placed. Well, the runner places the eyes of ender in a literal item frames, and if things couldn't get crazier, the end portal actually lights with some sort of custom gold texture. And when the runner jumps in the end, what? Wait a second, the end is completely normal. I was expecting the entire dimension to be made out of gold, but it looks like things are back to normal. Well, I spoke too soon, because when the runner makes his way to the surface, he notices a singular lever located on the end gateway portal, and when he flicks it, of course, now the end looks more like I was expecting and has somehow been transformed to fully gold. And just when I thought it couldn't be topped, the runner quickly starts mining various gold blocks on the surface of the end, where he then uses those blocks to craft the Golden Goose Butter Blade 67,000. What on earth? And the runner then uses this hilariously random but also insane Minecraft weapon to one-shot the Ender Dragon. This next speedrun begins, but there's already something fake about it. No, it's not the world generation screen, as it clearly hit 100% before spawning in. And it's not the position of the spawn itself, as the speedrunner's crosshair is facing perfectly straight. But let's take a very close look at this speedrunner's main menu. As you can clearly see, he's currently wearing a simple and basic Steve skin. However, when the speedrunner spawns in, you can obviously see by looking at his hand that he is not wearing that Steve skin. And this means the footage of his world generation and his spawn are actually two different clips edited together. And the runner is likely trying to hide that he's using a set scene. But wait, there's more. Because on this exact same screen, you can also see the speedrunner is clearly using mods. And make sure you remember this, as it's going to be very important for later in the speedrun. Anyway, the run begins and the speedrunner collects some wood, makes a couple of stone tools, and makes his way to a ruins portal. Now, the portal itself is completely normal, as there isn't anything suspicious about this structure. And the chest looks to be normal too, as the runner doesn't find a single suspicious item inside. However, let's take a very close look at the bread in this ruined portal chest. If you look closely, you'll actually notice it forms the shape of an arrow that is clearly pointing to the right. Now, this could just be a coincidence, but after the runner loots the chest and realizes he can't light the portal just yet, the speedrunner does in fact head in the same direction this arrow was pointing. Now, I was about to let the speedrunner off the hook, assuming it was indeed a coincidence. But are you kidding me? The speedrunner just so happens to find a village in the same direction this arrow was pointing. And yes, I guess there is still a chance this is all one big misunderstanding, but you can't deny that this is very suspicious. Well, the runner enters the village, and things seem to be back to normal once again, as the runner collects a bit of hay to create bread, and he loots a couple of chests throughout the village. But what raises my suspicion is this village's iron golem, because if you've been paying attention, you'll notice this iron golem has not moved a single time for 2 minutes straight, which according to ChatGPT, the odds of a golem being still for this long is over a 1 in 1 million chance. And on top of that, when the runner goes to attack this iron golem, look, it's staying perfectly still. When in a real Minecraft speedrun, the iron golem will start chasing you immediately after getting hit. These two details make me think the runner spawned in this iron golem on his own. Well, if we rewind back to much earlier near the beginning of the speedrun, the runner accidentally opens his chat, revealing a singular command to spawn in a non-moving iron golem. But why in the world did the runner need to spawn in a personal iron golem? Well, that's because when the runner kills this golem, what in the world? This iron golem somehow drops a full stack of iron ingots along with 2 blocks of obsidian, which allows the runner to craft a full set of armor and tools. But on top of that, 2 blocks of obsidian is exactly how many he was missing from the ruined portal. And this means it's more than obvious the reason the runner spawned in his own iron golem was because he could somehow create custom loot drops and specifically drop 64 iron ingots and 2 blocks of obsidian for himself. So, he quickly heads back towards the ruined portal and finishes the structure. But right before the runner is about to enter the nether, let's pause the footage at this exact frame. Because off in the distance, you get to spot a very suspicious quartz structure. And it's not only obvious this structure does not spawn here naturally, but remember exactly what it looks like, as it's going to be extremely important for later in the run. So, the speedrunner spawns into the nether, where thankfully, he does get the achievement for entering. And his first order of business is locating the position of a fortress. Now, the runner actually locates one pretty quickly, and at a first glance, the fortress may look normal. But as the runner is traveling through it, this might be the world's biggest Minecraft fortress. I mean, look, as the speedrunner makes his way through, the fortress literally doesn't end and seems to be going on forever. Well, if you couldn't tell, this isn't actually the world's largest Minecraft fortress, but instead, multiple different fortresses that have somehow all spawned in the exact same area. What in the world? Now, do you remember earlier in the speedrun when I pointed out the fact that this speedrunner had mods installed? Well, while the runner is adjusting a few settings, he accidentally opens his mod menu, which reveals one of the mods he is using is called sparse structures. And after a little bit of digging online, I found out this Minecraft mod lets you edit how often a structure can spawn, meaning the only way the runner has found this many fortresses in one small area was because he used this Minecraft mod to crank up how likely they were to spawn, and that caused all of these fortresses to spawn on top of each other. Well, there are so many blaze spawners to choose from, so the runner quickly decides to head to the nearest one he can find. And no, the amount of blazes that spawn at this blaze spawner are completely normal. But what they drop is a completely different story. Because along with this blaze dropping a blaze rod, it also drops a piece of bedrock? And yes, it's obvious a blaze doesn't drop bedrock, but how in the world could it even help the speedrunner? And when the runner goes to kill the second blaze, this time it drops an emerald. And after a few more blazes drop normal loot, the last 2 blazes that the runner kills each drop a piece of redstone. So first off, it's obvious the runner has somehow created custom drops for certain blazes. But secondly, make sure you remember these 4 specific items the runner has collected, as he will be using them to cheat very soon. So, despite some of the drops being very suspicious, the runner does collect 7 blaze rods like normal and quickly leaves the fortress. And a normal speedrunner would then begin to search for a bastion. And it looks like the runner is doing the same thing, as he starts to travel around the nether and search for the structure. But do you remember earlier when the runner was entering the nether portal? I pointed out this strange quartz platform that had somehow spawned in the overworld? Well, while the runner is searching for the bastion, we can spot this exact same structure once again. Interesting. Well, the runner has clearly spotted a pattern in the world, so he heads onto this suspicious structure and places down a crafting table. Now, do you also remember how I pointed out the specific items the runner got from the blazes? Well, he opens up this crafting table and uses these 4 items to craft a scanner? Okay, wait. Since when was a scanner an item in Minecraft? And hold on, what in the world does this scanner even scan for? Well, while the runner is standing on this quartz structure, he pulls out this weapon, and when it charges up, oh my gosh! The scanner literally starts to scan every single block in sight and immediately marks out every single piglin in the nether. And because piglins are often located in the middle of a bastion, the speedrunner follows this massive bunch of piglins and finds the exact location a bastion is located. And I think it's obvious this quartz structure that the runner was standing on was actually a scanner platform, and the runner needed to be standing on it for his scanner to work and to locate any piglins. And now it's obvious why this structure was also in the overworld, as he likely used the same scanner platform to locate a village before he started recording. And there's no way the scanner platform or the scanner itself is real in any way. Well, the runner heads inside a bastion he just found by scanning for piglins, and he quickly collects some gold and throws them at some nearby. And yes, the runner does collect a bunch of completely normal loot while trading, including fire resistance, ender pearls, blackstone, and obsidian. But there's just one item the runner gets that, well, isn't normal. Because what? The piglin throws an end's portal room at the speedrunner? Wait a second, what? This piglin has somehow managed to give the runner a literal end's portal room in the form of an item. And last time I checked, the end's portal room was a Minecraft structure. Definitely not an obtainable item. Well, the runner is clearly confused by the item too, because he picks it up and doesn't seem to know what he's supposed to do with it. But that's until the runner decides to swing it, and oh my gosh, a giant white flash appears on the screen, and the runner has just teleported straight to the end portal room. And when the runner hovers over this strange Minecraft item, he reveals it's called the end portal transporter device. This is mind-blowing. So, the runner finds himself inside of the end portal room, but there's one issue, because somehow the end portal has spawned in with missing end portal frames, which is possible for sure, but it's incredibly rare and only a result of a world generation glitch. So without a completed end portal structure, how can the runner travel to the end? Well, the runner doesn't seem too worried by this, because he still decides to craft his Eyes of Ender. But wait, is the runner placing his eyes in the portal? It's not even finished. There is no way anything can light. Oh my god. The speedrunner has somehow managed to light a glitched and unfinished end portal. And not only that, but the runner actually jumps in and successfully spawns into the end. Can anyone please explain how that's possible? Well, the runner somehow finds himself in the end, where he does get the achievement for entering the dimension. But look at the Ender Dragon. Despite the runner just spawning in, it somehow already lost half its health. And on top of that, when the runner heads to the surface, notice how a few of the end crystals are actually missing. But how has the end been changed if the runner just spawned here? Well, that's when the runner turns around and sees his clone? Wait a second, did the speedrunner somehow manage to duplicate himself? His clone looks exactly like him. Is that possible? And wait, is this clone the one who's already been hitting the dragon and destroying some of the crystals? Well, just a few moments later, we get our answer. Because while the runner is waiting for the dragon to perch, his clone is literally flying in the air and breaking crystals. And once the Ender Dragon actually perches, the speedrunner's clone destroys it in a few seconds. Click a video on screen now to watch even funnier fake Minecraft speedruns.